All right, welcome guys. Get yourselves in. All right.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, I'm good. You all right, Matty?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna catch up with you after so we can finish off what we gotta finish off, yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
All right. Jump in, guys. Welcome to those live on YouTube too. It's good to have you all. All right. Excuse me. All right. So we're gonna get cracking in a moment. It's been an interesting week, crypto-wise and forex-wise. We'll talk about both. All right. But before we do, let's talk about some forex. All right. Welcome everyone. Get yourselves in. Good to have you all. Welcome people. All right. I'm gonna start. Let me hit record, and then after we'll go. Whoever else jumps in, jumps in. But welcome everyone that's here, and let's get things cracking, as they should. All right. Okay, guys. So welcome to our live analysis session. Today is Monday, the 26th of July. How time flies! I remember when it was the 1st of July. Now it's the 26th. Time really doesn't wait for anyone, so you have to move fast. All right. So without wasting any time at all, let me do this. Let me go straight to where we are. All right, let's get this up here. Okay, so I'm going to start with pound USD because I believe we have some opportunity there. But I want to open up a fresh chart so we can look at this properly. Okay. All right, so pound USD was a fantastic sell for those of you who caught it. I gave it on live for everyone, so you should have all been able to grab it. I'm just loading up the second laptop too so we can have a look at what's going on here. But we've had a fantastic move going on, and I'm expecting to see more price action moving forward. But from what I've seen so far with pound USD, it looks like we're having we've had the return here. So let me start from the weekly. So the target was successful. It even reached further than what our target was. If I start from where we are right here and pull this up for you guys. Now I'm going to brighten my screen a bit so that you guys can get a better analysis from me. All right. Here we go. That's better. All right. So if I start from the weekly time frame here. All right. Here we go. The price returned back into the demand zone. So finally, we've had all of these weekly lows run as I said it would. We see that the price spiked here. We had a very sharp reversal the other way. So now we've entered into the weekly supply that was created at the beginning of the year. And now we've got into this area. I do believe the pound is ready to be able to go long. All right. Now, although it's ready to go long and do what it needs to do, I do believe there is a pullback before it finally takes off. But nonetheless, we have had a very nice long from this point right here. Now, we haven't had any reversal signature for the price to go long from. This is an important point. So I do believe that the price may form one in the days to come. At the moment, if I go to the H4 where we are, on the 4-hour time frame, so this is where we were looking at. This is where I gave the entry. Specifically, our entry, the one that I gave on the live session on Tuesday, was here. So about here. Stop loss goes above, and the rest is history. So it was a very fantastic trade. So what I'm keeping my eyes on for now is two areas, guys. So there's the first H4 area here, and then we have the second H4 area, which is beneath here. Here we go. And I'm expecting the price to give us some sort of reaction. Now, the moment the price is struggling above the high of last week, and if there's some sort of signature of reversal from here, then we can take a short. When I go to the H1 here, I haven't really seen, I guess you could say that if you're looking at things from a trend line perspective, we have a break of this bearish trend line now. I mean, whichever way you put it, try and get as many points as possible. But because it's quite steep, I think it's very obvious that the price has gone and broken past this bearish structure we had here. However, the real, and this is where I'm keeping my wits about me, that the real test to see where the price is going to go, or the real break of market structure, would have to be above here. If we have a body close above here, then we are definitely on our way long. I'm hoping that the price will give us some sort of reversal before it goes long. At the moment, it seems quite poised on going long, but we will find out something in the meantime. But from the H4, I'm watching to see what the price does if it gets back to 1.38 here. 1.38 would be a good area for us to get another sell before the price goes long, because that's what I believe. And as I said, with pound USD, there's so much going for it. We have 5 highs here, you know, that I believe the price will run. Now, if you get this trade long all the way up to here, you can buy 5 guys literally as many times as you want if you can capture the target to these 5 highs. So I'm watching for very strong long back to 1.42 and more than that. But it will depend on how the price behaves here. At the moment, there isn't too much to go by apart from how the price is behaving at these highs. And once the price gives us a strong enough sign of reversal or continuation, then we can take it. At the moment, I wouldn't go for it. And watching these lows that we've formed on Friday, I don't believe the price is completely ready to go long just yet. I do think there's a short at some point that should occur, but the time that it will occur will depend on. Now, usually on Mondays, I don't trade. The only thing I've actually traded is crypto because there was a fantastic long movement. So that's the only thing I've been in, but I haven't traded any Forex pairs so far. But this is pound USD anyway, guys. So let's move on. Let's have a look at what's going on here. Now, I really want to see those pound fundamentals come through because we are officially out of lockdown or a state of lockdown for now. There are still rules, but not like what it was before at all. Now, USDCHF again, there was a pending order set for a trade, which I made everybody close. And the reason is because of how this low was behaving. Now, I don't have the time to go into full details of why this low behaved the way it has, because that will take an hour and a half. But for those of you students, you know that there was a pending order for a long, which the price triggered. However, there was some danger here that I was seeing, and the price proved me right. And now we've had a very strong spike beneath these lows, and then a long, and then I'm looking for a retracement to go forward for a long. Now, I'm watching to see carefully though with this price action here on the H4, because I do think there is a short and I'd also think there is a long. Now, at the moment, the price is kind of hanging in this area. And for me, USDCHF long term is a long, or short midterm is a long. We still have so many highs from 2020 that need to be run, including the highs all the way back up to 1.03. So I do think we are going to have a strong dollar. But in order for us to have that, I would like to see a return from this retracement, from this reversal area here. But we haven't had one just as of yet. The price has really been kind of stuck in the range. Now, I personally am not a fan of USDCHF. One of our coaches, Matty, he likes USDCHF. The only reason why I don't like it as much is because sometimes it reminds me of USDJPY. But if you're focused on it and you've had the time to spend with it, it's a fantastic pair to make money from. Okay. At the moment, though, from what I've seen with this retracement here, it looks as though the price is going to push up long. And if it is, then the intermediate target would be at the beginning of this massive drop here. I believe the price will return to supply. With the market, guys, if you think of it as money and money moving the market, if the price was to go long here, this would be a likely target simply because this is the origination of a massive drop that lasted from this point all the way down to 130 pips later, or 130 pips down. So if the price gets here to find supply, to find liquidity to continue to sell and doesn't find it, then it will continue to go long. If not, then the price will start to reverse again. But as a target, this is a very simple one. And to scalp it wouldn't be so difficult. There is actually an opportunity presenting itself right now on the 15-minute time frame, and it's right here. So on this 15-minute time frame, again, we've had a very strong short into the morning around 8:30. We've had a return here at 9 o'clock. So when the European sessions are in full swing. But when the price returned here, we didn't get as strong of a drop as the first point right here, which is letting us know very quickly that this supply zone order block hasn't got enough liquidity to sustain a short. So now we've seen the price break above here. It's about let's check the time, it's 141 at the moment. So if you wanted to take a scalp right now, once the price closes above here, so in the next 4 minutes, once the body of the candle closes above here, then you have a confirmation that the price is looking to continue to go long. And from here, you can most likely capture this movement long and grab. Now, if you get this right, you could put a stop loss of even 4 pips here. And then you can go for this target right here, which I believe the price will go for, which is about 53 pips from where we are. So 4 pip stop loss and 54 pips roughly. We're looking at about 1 to 13. Yeah, 1 to 13 is 52 pips. So yeah, about 1 to 13 risk to reward, which is not bad as a trade if you get the stop loss correctly. All right, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And we'll see how the price behaves there. So for now, USDCHF, I'm watching it carefully. It's not the top of my list, but I'm still keeping my eyes on it. All right, Euro USD. Let's have a look. Now, Euro USD has descended into a very interesting pattern of price, which I'm not really a fan of at the moment. The price is really at the edge now. We've had many wicks continuing on. And as I said, we've had the first return into this area of demand, which was possible for a reversal for a long. When the price pushed along, we had a good reaction, but then we came back for another short. But we see the bullish candle here. We only have one bullish candle. We had 2 before. So we see that the bearish side of this market is still the more dominant force. Moving forward, as the price is pushing further short, we can see that we have a lot more red candles and a lot more struggle around this area. So right now, it does really matter as to what we're going to see. From looking at the price just from this area here, I believe that Euro USD is about to perform a short that we could take advantage of. And I do think the price is going to make its way down to the 1.6 region. I think this area of demand, which is a flip supply zone, is losing strength daily, literally on the daily time frame. And I expect it to continue that way. Now, for now, the price action is still quite messy and murky. But whenever Euro USD does something like this means that there's a big trade on the way. So this big trade on the way, I would like to see how that will play out. We had an interesting piece of behavior here from these highs right here. And I actually marked this one out. This demand zone is a very important one. I explained it in last session. So if you were there, you'd understand what I'm saying. But I'm watching this price action here. And from what I can see here, we should be poised for a short. Now, how Euro USD is going to play this out, I don't know. But one thing I will say is that I'm not going to be taking Euro USD. Only for now anyway. I don't like messy price action, and I don't like an area where there's lots of wickage. Now, I mean, if I wanted to, I could really go specific and try to enter and stuff, but I prefer simplicity, guys. Simplicity is what makes money. So I prefer to just find one good trade, load up as many positions as possible with good dynamic risk management, and let the money roll in. There's no point of trying to force it and, have like 7 entries or in the wrong place across 5 different pairs. Don't want to ever trade like that in my life ever again. And I don't think you should do either, because you don't want to have a heart attack when you're still young. Even if you're old, you still don't want to have one, but especially even if you're young. All right. So USD CHF, and now we're on USD Japanese yen. Now USD Japanese yen is still pushing long. Again, as I was saying, I'm monitoring how the price has behaved around this area here. And I want to see, for me, I can see the bullish formation here. And there is potential for more upside movement, even back up to this high here. But how we're going to get there is the question. Put this here. At the moment, the price is looking quite clean. From this bearish movement that we had here, we do have a body close above here. So we do have a break of market structure. Now, from this break of market structure, I'd like to see some sort of pullback, and then off we go for a long. At the moment, the price is still pushing very strongly long. And if it decides to just continue as it is, there's no problem with it. And the best I could say of USD CHF is if you're, USD Japanese yen, if you're a Japanese yen trader or USD Japanese yen trader specifically, then you probably want to be looking for a continuation long, because I don't see much chance of the price pulling back so far, so that we can get a, a deeper entry for a long. I think this is quite ready to go long, and the price is showing that we're consistently pushing further long. Now, I guess the real crux of everything would be at this high here. If we do get a body close above here, maybe today on the H4, then we do have a very big, strong market structure break. And I mean, if the price doesn't pull back, I guess the best I could project would be something on this sort. I'll use a H4 demand zone here. If we look at the structure of the price, we have a kind of an ABCD pattern. Now, there is a chance the price may steep or stoop a bit lower. It depends on how the market order book wants to function. I see this little inefficiency in price that may drive the price a little bit lower here and then go long. But if we see what happens by the end of the week, we should know what's going on. Now, again, USD Japanese yen is not really my focus. Right now, I'm more on the pound side of things. I really want to see what goes on with that. And then we can take our trades from there. So I'll be focusing primarily on those pound pairs for now. But this is my projections for USD Japanese yen. All right, USD CAD. Now, USD CAD is another important pair to me. I really am poised for a short on it, but I want to see the long first. So all I'm really looking for is how the price interacts with this low from last week. Let's put this here. Okay, so we have a nice order block here, demand order block on the H4. I just really want to see how the price interacts with this low. The interaction with this low will let me know whether we're going long or short. So as the price gets down here, I'm hoping that we can get some sort of reactions that can drive us for a long. Ideally, I'm looking for USD CAD to be a short. So if I pull this up here, I'll start from the weekly. On the weekly time frame, I might have to move my arrows for you guys to see this. Yeah, I'm going to have to. Let me move this out of the way. So we've had a very strong spike last week into this area. Now, it's not no price action, that movement, especially spikes like this, are by accident. This movement has a purpose, and the reason for this spike is to return to supply. Okay, so we've just returned to the supply zone, which handed us the short that we've seen continuation from last year into this year. Now that the price has spiked here, I'm intrigued to see what the price would like to do. This spike right here, to me, is an indicator of a very strong short that should possibly happen. The trend line is still steep on the long side, so I am keeping my wits about me, and I do expect to see more long action, and this is why I want to take the long. I want to take the long watching the price from this area here, 1.25623. That is where I'm looking for a long from. And I believe between now and Wednesday, we should have a spike in here. Now, if I use the H1 version of this, I'm looking for exactly a spike somewhere around here. If the price gives us what we want, then I will be looking for a short. In fact, USD CAD right now is producing a long, a chance for us to actually take a short. And by the end of this session, we'll be actually able to take a short on USD. Yeah, we should be able to take a short from here. I like the look of this. I can see price action for a short, and we can ride this down into the target before the long. Now, it depends on the stop loss. If the risk to reward is not right, then I'm not going to waste my time to take it. But for now, it's looking possibly ripe for a very good short into tomorrow. All right, I'll come back to that. I really do like USD CAD a lot. I think USD CAD is my favorite pair because it doesn't only just have USD domination. There's a lot of other factors that control it. So it's a nice pair to explore and take advantage of. All right. AUDUSD. I'm going to start off from the weekly here. We're still pushing short. And the Australian dollar at the moment, fundamentally speaking, is in a place where I would expect it to continue to be bearish for a little while, just because of uncertainties with COVID. There is a chance for the price to go long. I could see a break of market structure right here. I don't use the channels, so I'll just use a trend line to help. But you can see a very strong break of the market structure here. We see how the price interacted with this low, and we've had a very strong turn in the price. If there was ever a return back down to here, then we possibly may see a low. And that would be a fantastic movement for us to. And if that does happen, then I expect AUDUSD to be going right back to 0.76. So I expect the price to first hit off at an original place back up here. This will be a fantastic move. And from there, if the price decides to do more, then we could see an even greater movement. Let's put this here. An even greater movement all the way up. So I'm really poised and excited to see what AUDUSD can produce. At the moment, my only concern, I would say, is I wish there was more demand on the left, but there is demand zones available. There is one right here and there's some beneath here. Maybe not the largest ones, but possibly could be used. It just really does depend on what the price wants to do. So with AUDUSD again, it's not top of my list. USD CAD is, and Pound USD, those are my favorite too. And I'll be focusing on those. I've found that focusing on more than 4 pairs doesn't really help your mentals at all. Not because you can't manage it in your mind, but it's just trying to to read 2 books at the same time doesn't help. If you can just grab one good trade, like what we did with Pound USD, then you'll be able to get the best benefits of what you're doing when it comes to your trades. Now, I know that NZD USD will possibly be similar to certain degrees because their economies are quite similar. And from the looks of things, NZD USD from a monthly perspective still has some shorting to do. Now, the price has really been fighting, pushing further down, but the market is not having it. The US dollar is not having it, to be more specific. We can see if I draw this supply zone right here that's been formed in this area, we've had 5 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're on week number 5, where the price isn't spiking, then pulls back, then spikes, then pulls back, spikes, then pulls back. The price, because really, once the price breaks, if you have a body close beneath here, then is a signal for the price to continue. So the New Zealand dollar has really been fighting with the US dollar to sustain that kind of price point, which is around the psychological level of 70 cents for one New Zealand dollar. All right. But I do think that the price is really struggling, but nonetheless, there is still a downward movement here. So at one point or another, the price will have to break and make its way short. But if we look at the price action here, it's been a topsy-turvy, right? On the H4, what happens here makes more sense as what the price is doing. And from here, it looks like we should be still going short. So I do expect NZD-USD to also fall down on the short side. It's approached this demand zone, but hasn't entered yet. So possibly we might see the price get into here. Yeah. All right, let me switch over.